Alright everybody, welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to be going over the Uncrackable Royale storyline in its entirety, so that you know everything that you need to know before Season 4 drops tomorrow. Let's get right into it. So here's I'm on an old version of the map, Season 3. So let's dive right in. I'm going to start with the start of Season 1. At the start of Season 1, there were 5 locations, staggered streets in the top left corner, the bottom left corner was subterranean suburbs, bottom right corner was Barnacle Bay, and the top right corner was Shaky Shelter. And right in the middle was Reactor Row. Now, Reactor Row was pretty special, I guess, because it had the shield core. Now, I guess I'll pop up a picture on the screen of what the shield core used to look like. It didn't used to look like this. This came later. So yeah, the terrain looked a lot different. I mean, as you can tell, this is UEFN terrain, so it obviously didn't look like this. But the terrain went through a couple phases before landing on this, which is probably what's going to stay for a while. So at the very start of Season 1, when basically when the map launched, there was already some action going on. Because as you can see, the Red Industry, which is what this company is called, they've got drills. They were already drilling to the ground in the center of the map, and they were also drilling up here, and they were drilling inside of subterranean suburbs, which used to be down here. And what they were actually looking for was shield core shards, and this was found out, I believe, in an Uncrackable Files episode, which the Uncrackable Files, I should probably explain, are like audio bits or little videos or anything just found on the island. Like, say somebody, it's a collection, it's kind of like found footage, I guess I would say, because it's like a collection of generally audio clips, and it's basically like I just took them out of somebody's, like, I don't know, camera on the island and then just put them on my YouTube channel. So that's what it's supposed to be like. I guess that's the best I can describe it. So the Uncrackable Files they revealed that back in the day. They revealed a bunch. So eventually, after digging, oh, there was another dig site I forgot to mention, in staggered streets, they were digging in this hole, as you can see. After digging for a little while, they found crystals inside of the holes, which they assumed were the same matter as the shield core. So they drove cars out in little convoys and attempts to get them. And there's still lasting effects from those today. As you can see, there's dents made in Shaky Shelter from the weight of the cars. The cars are still, they're not just cars, trucks, I guess they're all trucks, and drills are in in the water right here. Also in the bridge here, the bridge collapsed. So you could definitely say that their convoys weren't super effective, because most of the vehicles were destroyed. But they did get just a few crystals back to the shield core. What the shield core does is keep up your 50 overshield. When the map first started, you had 50 overshield that would never break. So right now, if I grab a grenade, so as you probably know, grenades do 100 damage, and you can see I have 200 overshield because it changes in the future. So I'll stand right here, drop a grenade at my feet. What did they do to grenades? What happened to grenades? They only do 40 damage? I really have not been keeping up with, like, actual stuff going on in Fortnite. Did anybody know that they dropped the damage of the grenades down to 40? I don't know, but either way, you could see I was only taking 20 damage because the 20 overshield was just absorbing all the other damage. And at the start of the map, it was 50, and the shield core was what was keeping that up. So that's what the shield core does. And yeah, so it's not really like a 0-point type thing. It doesn't access realities or anything unoriginal like that. Once the trucks they were pulling up from over here. Once they got to where the shield core is, the crystals were sucked out of the backs of the trucks and absorbed by the shield core, and eventually, after a little while, it just completely exploded. It rose high into the air and just blew up. And the shards, you see, because you saw in the original image, it was covered in like a shell, basically. And those shards landed somewhere, which leads us into the start of Season 2. However, I do want to talk about one thing before we go into Season 2, which is the summer update, which happened in Season 1. And as you know, if you've been paying attention to the time of year, another summer update in Uncrackable will be coming very soon. And this one's going to be big, okay? But anyway, a big beach POI was on this side of the island. Here, I'll pull up a picture now. Which at the start of Season 2 was washed away. But you can see there's still some remnants of it here in Pirado Bay. So, the start of Season 2. The overshield dropped to 25 because the shield core was weakened after blowing up. Speaking of the shield core and it being weakened, the shards flew all over the place, leaving 5 areas where they landed. The biggest one was right here, turned into Corrupt Cavern, I believe, or Corrupted Cavern. I'm 90% sure is what it was called. Yeah, so there was a gimmick with all of these, which was that there were 3 chests that always had the same thing that came out of them, which was a legendary gun. There was 4 chests, actually. There was a legendary gun that came out of 3 of them, which was like a minigun, an SMG, and a suppressed AR. And then one of them, at each shard, had a One Little Whip Special Serve, an instant Chug Jug. And those are still in the game, which is definitely very balanced. But yeah, there's one shard there, another one right here, one on Thither Falls right here in the waterfall, and one landed right here next to Staggered Streets. Also with Season 2 is big flashes of light were coming from the island well, when the shield core exploded. So some pirates out in the middle of the ocean saw these flashes of lights and came towards here because they assumed it was land, which it was. And they landed in Barnacle Bay. So I'm sure I have a picture of the pirate ship, so I'll put it on screen right there, as well as a picture of Barnacle Bay and what it looked like when the pirates first took over. Now the pirates, as soon as they got there, started moving out of the of Barnacle Bay and trying to push their way into the island. But the Red Industry wasn't having that, so they started sending out like troops and stuff to help push back. And in between while this was happening, there was a little side story going on, which was a rock man that came made out of rocks from subterranean suburbs, came out of subterranean suburbs, walked around the whole map until they got to Staggered Streets, and for the Halloween update, built this huge tower called Hellish Ascent, which eventually was changed to Heckish Ascent after Fortnite no longer let me publish the map. So, yeah. And then the winter update happened. With the winter update, the tower froze. Uh-oh. Pretty sure I fixed this on the newest version of the map, but I'll just put it there. The tower froze and melted a little, and then as soon as winter was over, the tower was gone, leaving the Rockman right here at his landmark called Ponderati, which is Latin. But I'm not going to tell you what it means. So, that's that little side story. Alright, back to the main story. So, the Red Industry trucks moved forward. The terrain looked completely different at this point, but they were moving forward this way, and they had surrounded Barnacle Bay, even making 2 bases, Red Industry base Skos, and here it is, Red Industry base Lyther. Both Skos and Lyther have docks where they had boats equipped with weapons ready to send out and attack the pirates. And they were all ready to go. They even had some battles in between. As you can see, there were battle sites and cracks along here. And yeah. So, they were all ready for an all-out battle for the end of Season 2. But before that happened, there's another little side story. This cabin was taken over by these vans that have M's on them. Most people call them M vans, including me at this point, because I don't know what else to call them. That's what people started calling them. So, the M vans, they took over this cabin. That's why it's called Captured Cabin. And you can see they have a pirate cannon. And what else do they have? A Red Industry satellite dish. And they got a bunch of merch from their favorite company, the Red Industry and the pirates. Basically, they raided the battle sites and just took some stuff. So that's all that's happened yet. That story is still going. I mean, so is the Rockman story, but it is basically concluded for now. The M-Van story is still going. That's just what's happened so far. So, now the war. The Red Industry has souped up some of their good old-fashioned drills that they were using to dig for crystals and set them up with weapons. And they had put them, 2 of them, outside of a Barnacle Bay. And that's how the battle started. They started firing back and forth, and then they moved the drills forward and started shooting at buildings. But the pirates on the ship started shooting their cannons and landing shots, taking out one of the drills. And so that greatly weakened the Red Industry's attacks. And I forgot to mention this. While this is happening, General Gorus, the general of the Red Industry, who was revealed during this live event, is talking to everybody on the island over a loudspeaker. Because everybody on the island was asked to help out the Red Industry cause, because everybody likes the Red Industry, there's no reason not to. So, the Red Industry then sends out their ships, and they go forth and attempts to attack the pirate ship, but the pirate ship again hits them with big cannonballs from the giant cannon that they have. And those forces are down as well. That leaves just one drill that is still working for the Red Industry. And with this one, they've got plenty of missiles left. So, they take down, they shoot 3 shots into Barnacle Bay, taking down 3 buildings, as you can see right here. And then with one last shot, fired a huge bomb at the pirate ship, and the whole thing blew up. But that's not it, because over a couple weeks before this war, this final battle happened, subterranean suburbs started having crystals land on it, and like shards and stuff like that. And then people, after the war had ended and the pirate captain had died in the pirate ship explosion, people started noticing a big blue light in the sky above subterranean suburbs. And that is where the season ended, leading us into Season 3. So at the start of Season 3, a big star landed in subterranean suburbs, absolutely destroying it, leaving us with 2 new locations for this season, being Obliterated Bay and Fallen Star. Basically, the whole bottom side of the map had a lot of new stuff. So Fallen Star is by far the biggest map change, creating a whole new biome, basically. And as soon as this star landed, the Red Industry realized that their shield core readings were higher than before. So they sent out trucks, and the trucks came over. As you can see, they're here. And they've built up this huge base around the star where they could start drilling into it and doing experiments, which they did, and eventually found out that the star is made of the same material and like matter that the shield core is, meaning that it's likely that the shield core itself is a fragment of or a star. So yeah, that happened throughout the season, as well as pirates moving to try and seek out homes after their base was completely destroyed, moved into the Fallen Star location and built these little shacks out of what wood they could find, where they are now friendly because they don't have the pirate commanding them to do bad things, you know. They are now peacefully living in the Fallen Star area. And as you can see here too, like, the houses from subterranean suburbs are still here. They're just completely destroyed. All the buildings have some sort of remnants remaining. Also, you would gain shields if you were in the area of the star, or if you were in the area of one of the shards, which are all around the map. Any little green zone you see here is one of the shards, and when you are in that green zone, you gain shields slowly. Also, I forgot to mention, as you can tell, there's 20 over shield rather than 25, which at the start of Season 2 I said it dropped to 25. It dropped to 20 during the Halloween update. And it's just stayed there ever since, because I think 20 is the best for gameplay. So, the 2 most recent things that happened are Uncrackable was brought into UEFN, as you can tell by the terrain. It looks better than ever with this terrain. Because I decided to change some things. There were no beaches before, but now we have this area. And I really wanted to diversify the terrain, so the whole bottom right corner has a lot of new terrain now, including this bridge, which was not here before. And it's a lot more fun to play on. And another super recent thing that happened is the live event, which was that General Goris, who, as you know, is the general of the Red Industry, his spot, the general of the Red Industry spot, was up for grabs in an election. So somebody ran against him named Mr. Veruga, who then, during the live event, like, gassed the spectators with some sort of gas that caused them to vote for him, leading Mr. Veruga to now be General Veruga, leader of the Red Industry. So he's basically now the leader of the island. And at the end of the live event, he's told all of his troops to go to staggered streets. And that is where we will be picking back up tomorrow at the start of Season 4. This is going to be exciting. Season 4, the summer update, and Season 5 are probably going to be some of the most exciting times ever in Uncrackable Royale. Also, not to mention, in like a couple weeks is Uncrackable Royale's first birthday. So, that's really awesome. And thank you all so much for supporting me throughout this whole thing. If you want to support the map even further, you can check out there is a Patreon in the description. And that's about it. So, hopefully with summer, I can start getting updates out even more. And hopefully you guys are excited now. I should come up with the catchphrase, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.